Hey guys, we are so glad that you have joined us online today. Also, we have our students here as well. It's going to be awesome. Hey guys, it's so awesome that you're back. If you are watching online or on Facebook or YouTube, go ahead and share and like. If you're at your home, in your living room, whatever, just stand with us, worship with us, guys. If y'all want to stand and worship with us, come on. It's not really a suggestion, but come on. Stand with us and worship with us, okay?
You're always moving in the unseen. The breath you exhale, sustaining me. is found in you. With every moment left and every borrowed breath, let this be true, that all my heart for all my life belongs to you. Your laughter scatters my enemies. You give me joy for my morning. You lift my head so I can see. All of heaven surrounding me. I'm confident your faithfulness will see me through. My soul can rest, my righteousness is found in you. With every moment left and every borrowed breath, let this be true, that all my heart for all my life belongs to you. I will win this battle with the strength of my own hands. You're the mountain mover, and only you can. I won't build my life on sinking sand. You're my hope forever, the rock where I stand. I won't win this battle with the strength of my own hands. You're the mountain mover, and only you can. I won't build my life on sinking sand. You're my hope forever, the rock where I stand. The rock where I stand. All of the ground is sinking sand.
All of the ground is sinking sand.
I'm confident your faithfulness will see me through. My soul can rest, my righteousness is found in you. With every moment left and every borrowed breath, let this be true, that all my heart for all my life belongs to you.
That all my heart for all my life
the God of miracles. I believe in you. I believe in you. You're the God of miracles.
The one who does impossible.
Is reaching out to make me whole, reaching out to make me whole.
The one who put
Death in its place. His life is flowing through my veins. His life is flowing through my veins. I believe in you. I believe in you. You're the God of miracles. I believe in you. I believe in you. You're the God of miracles. I believe in you. I believe in you. You're the God of miracles. I believe in you. I believe in you. You're the God of miracles.
Guys, I don't know if y'all see what's going on in the news and all the rioting and all this other stuff. There is only, yes, the reason why all this stuff is happening is because a tragedy happened. Yes, that's true. But also the other reason why this is all happening is because they are a part of the world. They aren't part of God. They're not living for God. I think that once we get to the point where it is all about God and all about Jesus and all about living for Him and doing His will, this stuff will fall apart. And don't take this wrong that it's just stuff. This is a bad thing that happened. The riots and all this stuff, the man dying. This is an issue that we have, and we're going to talk about this at another time. But we need to give God glory. We need to give God praise, and He will heal our land. So guys, if you're online, if you're watching online, or you're here at Northwood Youth watching here, let's give God the glory, the praise. Let's start letting this land heal. Let's give Him our all. So if you're at home, if you're in your living room, your prayer closet, your prayer bathtub, wherever you're at, I want you to stand up. I want you to give God all the glory, all the praise, and really worship Him. You too, if you're here, I need you to give God all the glory, all the praise. Worship Him like He really means something to you. And if you don't know Him, that's okay. We're going to give you an opportunity to get to know Him.
And years to come, the power of the risen one, the God who brings the dead to life. You're the God of miracles. the God of miracles. I believe in you. I believe in you. You're the God of miracles. I believe in you. I believe in you. You're the God of miracles. I believe in you. I believe in you. You're the God of miracles. I believe in you. I believe in you. You're the God of miracles. I believe in you. You're the God of miracles. I believe in you. I believe in you. You're the God of miracles.
Guys, Jacob told me that he was going to sing this song, and it just didn't cross my mind. It's just so awesome how, if you don't know, God is so awesome. He is so great. He is so magnificent. He brought me out of a place that I could never go back to. And I know nowadays there are a lot of people who are like, yeah, I used to be a Christian or this and that. I can't say if they were ever really committed to God, because once you've seen stuff that God has done in your life, I don't know how you can go back. But let's just go back into the song one more time, and just give it your all. Give him all your praise, all your glory. Let's just do it one more time, and then we'll move on with the service. I know this is your favorite part, so that's why we're going to do it again. But let's just give it your all, okay? One more time.
God who was and is to come, the power of the risen one, the God who brings the dead to life. You're the God of miracles, the God of miracles. God of miracles. I believe in you. I believe in you. You're the God of miracles.
Guys, online, if you're watching online, thank you so much for worshiping with us. Guys, I'm glad that y'all are standing up and at least singing. It's so awesome. I'm seriously, I'm proud of y'all for standing up, at least standing up. Isn't it awesome that finally we have a band and we're not doing worship videos anymore? I think it's awesome. I'm so glad that they're here. Michael and Jacob and Riley, week in and week out, they practice. Jacob comes up with a set list. They're so awesome. Can we give them a round of applause? Just a couple quick announcements while they're playing still behind us. Guys, camp is canceled right now, but that's okay. We are working on another alternative. It's going to be awesome. It's going to rock your socks off. We are going to miss Hill Country Camp. So South Texas Youth Ministries, thank you for working so hard to keep us going to camp. I am truly grateful that you fought as hard and as long as you did. We love Hill Country Camp. We are going to miss you this year. So thank you once again for fighting so hard for us. We're still going to do camp. We're still going to give God glory and all that. But thank you so much for working as hard as you did. Guys, another thing, just because camp is canceled, we are still taking money for Speed the Light. Our goal is still $10,000. I will eat a real goldfish, not like one of those small ones that Stancil ate. I'm gonna eat a big one with the eyes bulging out. Seriously, I'm gonna take a piece of bread, some sriracha and mayo, slap that thing in there, and I'm gonna take a bite. Whether I throw it up or not, we don't know. But if you get $5,000 raised by Gretchen, when was camp date? July 27th through the 30th. July 27th. If we raise $5,000 by July 27th, I will eat me RJ. That's Robert Jr. in a sandwich. I've already named him. Yeah, I'll go buy him fresh from the pet store. I don't care. Anyways, guys, so if you are have money saved up for Speed the Light, you can give that online, or you can give it to Gretchen and she'll put it in an envelope and we'll give it to Miss Tammy. Seriously, guys, I'm ready to eat a goldfish. It's gonna be so awesome. One more thing. I know how much y'all love to hear me preach or whatever it is that I do, but we are not doing that today. We actually have I can't remember if he's the Youth Alive pastor. I think he's the Youth Alive pastor, Chance Abbott. Let's give him a round of applause. Thank you, Chance. I don't have to preach today. Thank you so much. Anyways, I just want to give him a shout out, guys. Chance came and went to Klein Kane High School, and we recorded a bunch of stuff, and we get the opportunity to hear such an amazing message tonight. So let's get into it.
And a big shout out to Robert Rangel. Man, just killing it as the youth pastor. You guys have an awesome youth pastor. I get to go to a lot of places. You guys have an awesome youth pastor. You got hooked up. Hey, I just want to take a minute and talk directly to you that are teenagers. Man, I know this has been such a challenge for you. You know, our identity gets so wrapped up in who our friends are and who we get to spend time with. And now that you're stuck at home all the time, you've gone back to just being little brother or little sister, or you're just the kid. Our families have a way of seeing us as the kid we've always been. Mom and dad have a hard time seeing past the 7-year-old that you were and seeing the 15, 16-year-old that you are now. And I know that's very challenging. I would just encourage you today. I know you've been patient with your siblings and with your parents, but can you be, to be generous with patience is to give a little more. What would it take for you to be a little more patient, a little more kind? Have you taken a moment to consider how challenging this would be for them? You know, I know that your world is difficult in this, and this is a very hard transition for you. I get it. But have you considered how hard all of this is on your parents? Have you considered how difficult it is for them to navigate? Your parents have never tried to parent through a global pandemic before. They've never had to do this. They've not been where you're at, but you've not been where they're at. They don't have anybody to coach them on this. You know, have you considered how hard this is on your teachers? They're doing their best to create all this material online. They've never had to do that before. Where they're being asked to do something so hard. Have you considered how this affects your younger brothers and sisters? You know, they're not as mature as you, and they're still figuring things out. Just, you know, have you taken a moment to stop and to consider those that are around you? And when you stop and you think about them and how difficult this is on them as well and their perspective, out of that, it's easier for us to have a little more grace, a little more kindness, a little more patience for the people that we love the most. Don't forget, in just a few years, you'll be moved out of the house and you won't see them near as much as you get to now. So take this time and give them a little bit more. You can do it. Give them a little bit more tolerance. Give them a little bit more love and a little more encouragement. And in that way, you can share Christ with your family. I remember my freshman year, I got suspended. We were coming home from a trip and we were doing, you know, some sort of competition, and somebody dared me to moon the car behind the bus. So naturally, I'm a freshman in high school. I'm totally gonna do it. The lady we mooned, turns out, goes to church with my teacher that was on the bus, and told her the next day at church, she said, I looked up and I thought, well, whose shiny white hiney is that? Well, it was mine. And Mrs. Bigham figured out it was mine, and she came up to me. She was actually laughing, and she said, Chance, did you moon a car behind the bus the other night? And she was laughing, so it disarmed me. And I was like, I kind of laughed with her, and I was like, yeah, I did. And I thought she thought it was funny, and I thought it was funny. We laughed, and then she took me to the principal's office, which was her husband. And I said, what are you doing? And she goes, well, I've got to report it. And I was like, but you were laughing about it. She goes, I know, it's funny, but you're still going to get suspended. And I was like, oh. And that was my second suspension that year. My first happened in cross-country practice after school. I got a little frustrated with my coach, and I flipped her off about this close to her face. Turns out that'll get you ISS. Classrooms are empty. And all of this abrupt change has caused us to reevaluate who we are in our identity. It's caused us to relook at some things. You know, I've noticed that when somebody seems to be going through a big change in life, a difficulty, we tend to be a little bit more sensitive to them. When somebody is walking through, they've got a bad diagnosis from a doctor, or maybe they've been laid off, or maybe they're walking through a marital issue, or maybe they're grieving the loss of someone. People around them tend to be a little more sensitive, a little more forgiving to them being in a kind of grumpy or in a bad mood. Oftentimes when we're that person, we're hangry, we're cranky, we need a little more grace. And in those moments, we tend to have a little less grace for the people around us when we find ourselves walking through abrupt change in life. So how do we handle it when everybody's walking through abrupt change in their lives? What do we do when we need to be sensitive to others, but we ourselves are kind of in a spot that maybe we're not on our A game right now either? We need a little more grace ourselves. How do we muster up the ability to have extra grace for others? So how do we respond to all of this abrupt change in our lives and in the lives of everyone around us? Now is the time for generosity. Now's the time for generosity. And when you think generosity, it's so easy to think, well, here's a message on money. But generosity isn't about money, really. Generosity is really a position of the heart. It's an attitude, if you will. You're generous with a lot of things beyond just finance. We can be generous with our time. We can be generous with the way that we respond to somebody. We're generous with grace. I think about how generous God is to us. In 2 Corinthians chapter 9, it says God will generously provide all you need. This is more than just a financial thing. Then you'll have everything you need and plenty left over to share with others. Our God is such a generous God. He tells us in the book of James, if you lack wisdom, you should ask for it, and God will give it to you generously. God is generous to us in things that goes far beyond monetary value. God is generous to us in kindness. He's generous to us in giving us wisdom. We need more generosity in our lives. We need to be generous as God is generous. God is generous to us in kindness. The book of Romans tells us that, it says, don't you see how wonderfully kind, tolerant, and patient God is with you? That's a verse that we should try to emulate in our lives. Don't you see how wonderfully kind, tolerant, and patient God is with you? Does this mean nothing to you? Can't you see that His kindness is intended to turn you from your sin? God is so kind to us through all of our seasons, through all of our change. He's kind to us when we're kind to others. He's kind to us when we're not. When we're on our A game and when we're not our best selves. God is so kind to us. He is so generous to us in kindness. He's so generous to us in patience. 2 Peter reminds us that the Lord isn't slow about His promises, as some people think, but He is being patient for your sake. I'm glad that God has patience with me. I don't know about you, but man, I mess up. I make mistakes. There are days where I'm not the perfect parent. I'm not the perfect husband. I'm not the perfect pastor. You know, there's days where I make mistakes. It's a very humbling thing when you have to ask a 3-year-old for forgiveness. Hey, I'm sorry. Daddy lost his temper there. Daddy jumped too quick. Daddy, I made an assumption. You know, and it's really hard to explain that to a 3-year-old. But you just say, you can't sugarcoat it. You just have to call a spade a spade. You just have to say, Daddy was wrong, and I'm really sorry. Daddy was wrong there. I'm so glad that God is generous with patience towards me. That God is generous with patience. God sees exactly what I should do, and then He watches me do the exact opposite of that thing, yet He's patient with me. I would be a terrible God. I don't have the patience to be God. I would be a horrible God. I'd be smiting people left and right. All the stereotypes that Hollywood or cartoons have about God and lightning bolts, I would make those look like just simple animations. I'd be like, you want to see something? I mean, I don't have the patience to be a good God. I'm just bolt of lightning, bolt of lightning, bolt of lightning. I can't do it. I'd be like, you want to see a plague? I'll show you a plague. Like, I just don't have, but God is generous to us with patience, and He lets us totally mess things up sometimes. He lets us make bonehead decisions. He lets us read His Word one day about having forgiveness and love and being gentle with others, and then it seems like we walk out of church or we walk out of the house, and the first thing we're doing is we're raging in our cars. Get out of the way! Get out of the way! And we're reading all this stuff and we acknowledge, man, God wants me to love my neighbors, love God, love people. That's what we're all about. But then you get around people and you're like, I hate all of you, right? And God is patient with us through all of that. I'm not a patient person. One of my biggest pet peeves in life, when I pull up to a gas station and the pumps don't work and they've got bags over those pumps, it just makes me so mad. It's like, you're a gas station. Fix your pumps. fix the pumps. Or you push yes to get a receipt and it says, please go inside. Why did you ask me if I want a receipt if you're not going to give me a receipt? I don't have the patience for these types of things. God is so patient with us. And I just think about all the little things that really irk me. And then I think, man, God is so patient with us. God is so generous to us in that. God is so generous to us in forgiveness. Ephesians tells us that Paul is writing to the church in Ephesus, and he tells them, hey, he said, instead of acting this way, instead of responding to people like this, he says, instead, be kind to each other, tender-hearted, forgiving one another just as God, through Christ, has forgiven you. God is so generous to us in forgiveness. We don't earn it. We don't deserve it. We unbelievably don't deserve it. And it seems like the closer to God you get, the more you realize how far from God you are. Like the more God reveals His glory to you, the further you realize you are from who He is. It's this weird paradox of the kingdom. The closer I get to Him, the further I realize I am. God is He's so generous to us in forgiveness. I don't know if you're like me. I've sinned even as a Christian. I've sinned intentionally even as a Christian. I've had moments since I came into faith as a believer that I had set my mind and my heart to do something that I knew was going to be, that I knew it was sinful. And I preemptively knew I was just going to ask God to forgive me for it later. That in itself, taking advantage of grace in itself is a reminder that we do not deserve grace. God is so generous to us in forgiveness. So likewise, we should be generous to others. May we be generous to others in this season with kindness, giving more kindness than's deserved. May we be generous with forgiveness. May we be generous with patience. May we give of ourselves beyond what's expected of us, because that's really where generosity begins. Generosity doesn't begin until an expectation's been exceeded. You know, if I just got what I expected, if I just got what I paid for, that's not generous. But when I get so much more, that's generosity really kicks in when expectations have already been met. And so for us to be generous in patience, maybe you say, well, I've been really patient and everybody knows I've been patient. Yeah, but you've been patient up to the point that's expected for you to be patient. Now, Christ would challenge us, can we be even more patient than that?
The strip.
Big thank you to Chance Abbot. Congratulations on your new position. We are rooting for you. We are praying for you. We are so excited for you, man. We love you. Thank you so much for preaching for me today. It's been an honor. Thank you so much for spending time with me during recording. We love you, Chance. Hope to see you next time. Anyways, guys, will you stand with us one more time? Worship with us one more time. Let's give God all the glory, all the praise. And just one more thing before we get into worship. Let's give Chance another round of applause. He's so awesome. Thank y'all guys so much.
Silencing my every fear, silencing my every fear. I believe in you. I believe I believe in you. You're the God of miracles.
Chance was talking about being gracious, being all the things that God is to us, and we are not worthy of it, but He gives it to us anyways. So for those of you who don't know that grace and that mercy, and you want to start to know that grace and mercy that God gives us, or that Jesus gives us, because He died on the cross to forgive us of our sins, but not just that, but to give us grace and mercy, because every single day we mess up. Every single day I mess up. Like Chance said, there are times where he says, where he intentionally sins against God because he knows that God is going to forgive him. That's how gracious God is. And if you don't have that grace, if you don't have that mercy, and you don't know what it is to have that grace and mercy for yourself, let alone for others, I just want you to come to know Jesus, because that is the only freedom that I know that gives us that grace and mercy. So bow your heads. Those of you online, bow your heads, repeat after me, or don't, but that's okay. Here we go. Lord Jesus, come into my life. Clean me up. Make me brand new. We love you. Guys, if you said that for the very first time, whether you're here at Northwood Church or you're online, watching online, I want you to either go to your church when it opens up, and when they finally start doing baptism, I want you to be brave. I want you to be bold and confess that by getting baptized. Those of you here, guys, as soon as we start doing baptism, I'm ready. I'm ready to hold you down for 30 seconds. I don't care. Whatever it takes, I will do what I gotta do. I'll bring a snorkel for you. I got a couple, but I want you to get baptized. I want you to be brave. I want you to be bold. I want you to proclaim Jesus' name. Some of you, your parents don't believe in God or whatever. This may be your opportunity for them to get saved. Anyways, I won't harp on much longer. If you don't have a home church, Northwood Church is opening up this week, the 7th, this Sunday at 10:15. Doors open. I want you to be there. And like I tell my students, be there or be a trapezoid, because squares are cool. Peace. See you next week.